Tiger fans, Kiffin hit it out of the park in his first cycle. Here is Tiger head coach. Let's break it all down. What's going on, everybody? Teddy Brennan here, Louisiana Boo Crew Media. Boo Crew Media, sponsored as always by our good friend Millard Morrison over at Revel Asphalt Services. Thank you, Millard, as always. God bless you, especially these holiday season. Love to your family. Love to everybody's family. What a special time. Everybody to be gracious and grateful, and certainly it just little things like that, and so we're all in a very lucky spot, and so very lucky to be here at Booker Media, very lucky to have Revel Asphalt sponsoring this segment, and so it's not going to be a long one, but it's going to be an efficient one in the sense that I've had the flu the past couple days, and I don't normally talk about that kind of stuff, but it's kicked my ass, and so I don't want to start coughing or on anybody right now. But honestly, the best thing that we can talk about is how good of a start could recruiting have gone with Lane Tiffin. I mean, honestly, 2 5-stars, 8 4-stars, and 4 3-stars. That's just on 3. 247 would lead you to believe that those numbers were even a little better. You've got the number 11 high school class in the country with only 14 recruits. You want to talk about efficiency. You want to talk about recruiting at a high level. Kiffin's been there and 72 hours, and he's recruited better than Kelly did in 4 years. And so here we are. Very, very nice start. And so now you're just led to believe, okay, so what are we going to do starting January 2nd? Because that's the portal, because that's when stuff's going to get weird. I mean, it's going to get weird not just at LSU, but just across the entire country. I mean, the transfer portal is where it is now. I mean, you're getting veteran seasoned players that have played significant minutes at significant schools that are looking to make maybe a higher dollar value somewhere else, and then certainly get more exposure somewhere else, but to be able to use their skill set in a different way, to be able to move that forward to the NFL potentially. So you have so many moving parts, but a lot of guys aren't looking or going to make the NFL, but they just want to get into a good opportunity to maybe get into a tryout. And so, but you need to just find and fill those holes. And so LSU is going to be in one of those positions where when you only sign 14 guys in your high school class, obviously retention on the current roster is going to be massive. That remains to be seen in terms of especially who do you have coming back. When we're talking about Frank Wilson, when we're talking about looks like Blake Baker's probably going to be taking that Tulane job. Corey Raymond, these are guys that, when you think about retention of the current roster, if these coaches stay, you think that you probably have a pretty good shot of them staying too. If they don't, so look, it's the wild, wild west out there. And so now with Kiffin coming in and basically an entire new staff, it's basically you gave him the reins. I mean, there's a reason that you gave Kelly, you gave Kelly the door. You gave Kelly the door. You gave him $50 million. You brought Kiffin in for $90 to $100 million. I mean, you want to win, and you told Kiffin, look, this is your thing. And so there's going to be no holds barred. The politics of old are done. LSU's been very mediocre, if not just kind of below average for the past definitely 5 years. And then even before 2019, the end of the Miles years, we're starting to get a little stagnant. So it's time that we have some fresh blood and somebody that can come in and bring LSU to where it's supposed to be, and that should be at the top of the college football world. And so, not win the championship every year, but you should be in the playoff, and you should be damn near in the conversation. And so, but I think the class, like I said, is going to be remembered for this defensive line. Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson out of Edna Carr. I mean, one of the best defensive tackles, one of the best nose tackles you'll see in Louisiana. I mean, Mike Detillier, if you ever listen to WWL, I mean, he's been a staple for years. He's what South Louisiana football is. I mean, if anybody's grown up listening, he's the Bible. And so Mike Detillier, he's a big, rich, big fan. So, and so when you get that kind of guy with a Lamar Brown, he was so good. He was a 5-star left tackle, right tackle, or a 5-star defensive tackle or defensive end. I mean, and he wants to be a defensive end. And so here we are. And so now you start to put that together with Deuce Gerald's out of Georgia, just absolutely twitchy. Very, very, I mean, just his stature, 6'2", 275. He's got just every ability that you would want, because in a defensive tackle, particularly if you're playing next to a big guy like Richard Anderson, I mean, if you can get below pad level and then use your quick feet, that first step, offensive linemen always love to say is that it's that first step that kills you. And so he's got it. And so Trenton Henderson out of Pensacola, Florida, kind of an Arden Key looking kind of like defensive end. So you put together an entire defensive line class out of freshmen that hopefully will grow together and could be one of, if not the best defensive line high school classes LSU's ever had. And so, so it like I said, just an efficient class, but the highlight was the defensive line. I mean, that's big time. That's Lane Kiffin showing you, saying that I'm going to take care of the offense. Don't worry about that. Well, we've got that covered no matter who's playing quarterback, no matter who we've got running routes. We've got the offense covered as long as we've got these man-childs on defense, these guys, these just swagger individuals that LSU's had for 25 years. You know what they look like. I mean, you don't have to, I don't have to tell you. I can name off 20 right now. That's what an LSU defender is supposed to look like. And so if Lane builds up a defense like that, you get a Havon Finney out of Los Angeles to play corner. It's just Pook Ellis out of Winsboro. I mean, a quarterback most of his career in high school. Isaiah Washington, safety. I mean, the Tigers are really recruiting at a high level back on the defensive backfield. Probably goes to show that Corey Raymond, you would hope to think, is going to be staying on. And so just a couple flips that Lane had. J.C. Anderson, big time tight end coming out of Illinois, 6'7", 240, very impressive. Needs to put on a little weight in the sense he needs good weight. He's already got weight, but needs to, the intricacies of blocking and playing at, at a high level at tight end in the SEC. But if you see his route running, it's really impressive, particularly in the slot. He can high point the football, playing on the outside too. And then Ryan Merritt, I think that could end up being Lane Kiffin starting center before you know it. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but he has high hopes for him coming out of Miami. Very, very smart. Sounds like a lot of big time schools, especially more in the outside of the football world. We're looking for him, and so it just goes to show he brings a lot of versatility to it. And if you're playing the center position, that's not a bad thing, especially if you have this stuff in between the ears. And so wide receiver, I mean, of course, Lane was going to bring in the best of the best. Signed Jabari Mack out of Destrehan. He brings in Corey Barber, who he had him committed at Ole Miss from Alabama, and then Braden Allen, a last minute guy out of Louisiana. Lafayette Christian was at Oklahoma for a little bit. Now he's a Tiger. And so now Lane has plenty of toys to play with. And so now it's like, okay, so what are we missing now? And so you kind of take a step back, you evaluate, you see where you are. I think now you go and re-recruit the roster that you have, because you have a ton of talent. As much grief as Brian Kelly gets, he did recruit at a very high level, and he had a very good staff that recruited at a very high level. And so bring a lot of those guys back, and then you supplement in the portal, and then you're probably end up getting in Lane, you're probably getting 15, 20, 25 guys. And so you bring that all over the offense, defense, and special teams, and you're going to have quite a looking crew just in about, 4-6 weeks. So a lot moving forward. Like I said, I apologize for the voice. But I mean, a very successful day, a very efficient day for LSU. Nobody expected it to be a big day because there weren't that many commits, but 14. You made about as efficient and of a quality a day as you could. And now you just go and hammer the portal, and you don't have anybody to hammer the portal better than old Lane Kiffin. And so we're going to keep an eye on things. Certainly as news breaks out, we will break in. That's what we do here at Boot Crew Media. Saints as always, Pelicans as always. But keep it here. Certainly still a lot more coming. But for now, as always, go Tigers.